What's good, TMG fam? It's your boy, L, and I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute, man. Listen, when stupidity goes wrong, I think this is gonna be kind of like the dumb ways people die. I think it's gonna be along the same vein as that type of style video, man. So you know I'm extra hyped for it. I'm here for it, so we're gonna get right to it. If you're new to the channel, man, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Join the fam. Gotta join the fam, bro. All right, and once you do that, man, we just need for you to do one thing. Run the likes up, baby. Make sure you run them likes up. Let's go.
Number 13, Wayne Roth. In November of 1997, Pennsylvania man Wayne Roth was at the home of his friend Roger Croteau, who had a pet cobra. Roth decided that he wanted to play with the highly venomous reptile. He reached into the tank, but the cobra perceived him as a threat and bit the 38-year-old as he picked it up. In spite of his friend's warnings and against what most would argue as common sense, Roth didn't go to the emergency room. Instead, he believed that he'd be able to withstand the reptile's venom, reportedly telling his friend, "I'm a man, I can handle it." Instead of the hospital, Roth went.
There had to be alcohol involved. Friends, ego, alcohol. Deadly combination. Every single time, bro. When we get around our homies, we do some of the dumbest things that we wouldn't otherwise do if we was by ourselves or with our old lady or somebody like that. Fam, you got bit by a cobra. Nah, man, I got it. I can handle it. What? Says who? Fam. And I'm going back because I want to look. I think it showed them at like a table setting, getting drinks.
At the home of his friend, Roger Croteau, who had a pet cobra.
Oh, you said at the home of his friend. All right, look at it. Look, pet cobra, bruh. Cobra. And then that word there, common sense. It ain't so common.
Hospital, Roth went to a bar where he had a few drinks and boasted to other patrons about having just been bit by a cobra. The animal's venom attacks the central nervous system, but it's generally rather slow acting. In spite of Roth's belief in his masculine imperviousness, he ended up dying a few hours later. Number 12, Stephen Winfrey. On New Year's Day 2015, British man Stephen Winfrey was hunting for rabbits near his home in Doncaster, South Yorkshire. On January the 2nd, a passerby found a 50-year-old man with half his body sticking out of a rabbit hole. Winfrey's head was inside, while only his legs and torso were visible. The man had been dead for several hours. The ferrets he'd been using to hunt were found in bags while his dog was discovered tied to a tree nearby. Next to the man's lifeless body was a mound of soil and a dead rabbit. Judging by the scratch marks on the ground, Winfrey had struggled to get out, but his efforts were to no avail. He'd succumbed to asphyxia after sticking his head inside the hole and becoming stuck. Number 11.
Now, bro, have you ever been locked into a position and just couldn't move and just had to stay there until somebody came and got you out? The reason why I asked y'all that, because it's like you kind of know the feeling. You don't completely know the feeling that person went through because you didn't die. But you know the feeling if you've ever gotten stuck like that. So in the fire service, man, we would have this maze that we would go through, like this obstacle course that we would do. And we would get in these confined spaces, bro, that they built. And you kind of go through and you have to position yourself, do different swim moves and different things to get through these tight little knit holes, simulating getting stuck somewhere in a house and have to figure your way out of it, right? So you can get stuck, bro, and that feeling of getting stuck and then your mind start doing things to you, bro, to where you have to calm yourself down. Or you'll begin to hyperventilate. You'll begin to just go crazy because it's your mind. That's the toughest battle, bro. It's your mind. So you can't move in your body, and then you get anxious, and then it starts to, yeah. So you can only imagine somebody who took that to all the way to death. Yeah.
Daniel Kaluba. On January the 14th of 2021, a teenager from Benadibele region in the Democratic Republic of Congo died after striking a soccer ball filled with hardened concrete. The team that 18-year-old Daniel Kaluba played for had brought the ball and intended to use it to prank their opponents. However, the players then decided to warm up, using the concrete ball and to test their abilities to kick it. Kaluba called for a header and his teammate passed accordingly. The teenager struck the ball with his head and the impact inflicted severe injuries. Kaluba died as a result, while the player who passed the ball to him reportedly faced charges. Number 10.
What the? Oh my gosh. Like, how does that work as far as legal issues go? Who brought it? The people who brought it got it. I guess they got to stand trial for that. What's something which was, that's what I be saying about these pranks, bro. You see them on every YouTube channel, bro. These pranks. And all of those, some of them are mild-mannered, meek, very, very, you know what I mean? Humorous, and they not, you got people that take it to the extreme. This was the extreme, bro. A cement-filled soccer ball for what? And then dude took a header?
Quimby Gilotti. On June the 2nd of 1997, teenager Quimby Gilotti died in an accident involving 32 other students from California's Napa High School. They were on a senior class trip to Concord's Waterworld, USA. The students wanted to see how many of them could fit on a single section of the 40-foot-high Banzai Pipeline water slide. By piling into it, they subjected the attraction to weight forces 3 times greater than those for which it had been designed. A section of the slide broke open and twisted upside down as it fell, sending students plummeting to the ground. 18-year-old Gilotti died, while over a dozen students were hospitalized as a result of the accident. Number 9. Mauled by Bengal tigers. In May of 1999, 2 elderly German tourists were mauled to death by 3 Bengal tigers at a wildlife park in Spain's Alicante province. The unnamed married couple, both reported as being in their 70s, ignored the warnings issued by staff at Safari El Virgil. The park safety guidelines stated that visitors should drive on the grounds with their windows rolled up. Signs written in multiple languages informed the couple that...
Can y'all see? This is exactly why I don't do these type of safaris, man. We've been out the country. We've been places where they've offered different safaris. No, bro. No. These things, like, they probably got more successful safaris than unsuccessful. So the more outweigh the unsuccessful, but there's still going to be a few unsuccessful ones, bro. And I don't want to be in that number, by the way. You know what I mean? Like, they ignored the warning signs. Yes, it was their fault. Definitely. And they got out of the car. Like, you see it here on the little sheet. It said they got out of the car and 3 tigers pounced on them. That was just, okay. That's just on them. That's just their dumb fault.
At Safari El Virgil, the park safety guidelines stated that visitors should drive on the grounds with their windows rolled up. Signs written in multiple languages informed the couple that they were in a dangerous area and under no circumstances were they to exit their vehicle. Even though their lives were at stake, they still got out of their car. Before long, 3 massive Bengal tigers pounced on them. The felines swiftly inflicted devastating neck injuries, to which the man and his wife would later succumb. Number 8.
You're like, yo, come on, we gotta get this selfie. Y'all, we gotta get this selfie. Let's get close enough till we can get to the tiger. Come on.
Explosive selfies. In January of 2015, 2 young men traveling in Russia's Ural Mountains found a live grenade and decided to take a selfie with it. Some sources report that they discovered the explosive weapon without a safety pin, while others claim that they'd pulled the pin out specifically for the selfie. Whatever the case might have been, a grenade without a safety on is extremely dangerous, as this means it's armed and ready for use. Both men were instantly obliterated as the grenade went off in their faces. Only the phone with the picture remained and served as evidence of how they died. In 2017, another grenade selfie went horribly wrong. Russian man Alexander Chechich had sent photos to a friend of him holding the armed explosive in his hand. It's believed that the man couldn't put the safety pin back in, at which point the weapon went off, killing Chechich by tearing his body in half. Number 7. Clifford Ray Jones. In 2016, Detroit man Clifford Ray Jones died in a car crash under rather unusual circumstances. He was watching an X-rated movie on his phone while driving down I-75 without wearing pants.
Come on, let's not judge. We're not going to judge. Some of y'all have done it. Some of y'all have done it. Some of y'all have done it. Let's not even just go there, bro. What? What? Put your pants on, bro. Riding down the road with no pants on, watching X-ray. Put your pants on. Put your pants on. What's wrong with y'all?
Crash under rather unusual circumstances.
Imagine me as a first responder having to pull up to that.
He was watching an X-rated movie on his phone while driving down I-75 without wearing pants. Jones's seatbelt wasn't fastened, and the roof on his 1996 Toyota was open. At some point, the 58-year-old had become too distracted and crashed into a roadway ramp. His vehicle rolled and Jones was ejected through the sunroof, sustaining fatal injuries. Upon reaching the crash site, one Michigan State Police lieutenant referred to the incident as the strangest thing he'd ever encountered on the roadway. Number 6.
What they call that in the medical field, a priapism? That's what they call it. I think I remember. It's like your last, as a man, it's your last hoorah as a man. I think it's called a priapism. Look it up. Double check me if I'm correct. If I'm not correct. I think it is.
6. David Monk. British man David Monk died in the Italian Alps in 2008 from an accident involving an improvised sled. 46-year-old Monk and a few of his friends had removed some of the foam barriers that were used as protection at the end of the run. The men then used them as sledges and sped down the ski slope in a dark, ironic twist. The men crashed into the very fence from where they'd earlier removed the foam barriers. Monk struck a post with his head and was killed instantly. 2 of his friends were also badly injured, but they survived. Number 5. Jose Tony Alvarez Umanzo. On the 4th of July 2020, a man from Washington, D.C. died in the aftermath of a mishap with fireworks. 33-year-old Jose Tony Alvarez Umanzo was reportedly holding a commercial-grade firework above his head. The mortar-style pyrotechnic device was described as being so powerful that it was deemed illegal in the state. Nevertheless, Umanzo held it above his head after lighting it. Once ignited, the base of the firework ejected downwards, causing critical injuries to the man's head and upper body. Umanzo was rushed to the hospital where he was ultimately pronounced dead. Number 4. Sukram Yadav. In January of 2021, Indian man Sukram Yadav died after what was described as an air compressor enema. The incident occurred in the Katni district of the Madhya Pradesh state. Yadav had been suffering from constipation and asked his friend, 35-year-old Vino Thakur, to help him resolve the matter by inserting an air compressor nozzle into his rectum. Thakur did as asked, and within seconds Yadav's stomach swelled up and he became unconscious. He was rushed to the emergency room and later transferred to a different hospital, where doctors performed 3 surgeries in an attempt to save his life. Unfortunately, the man succumbed to his extensive internal injuries. Even though the matter was attributed to ignorance rather than malevolence, Thakur was arrested by the police.
What is wrong with y'all? Y'all got too much time on your hands. It gotta be. It gotta be. You can't find, I'm pretty sure it's something else better to do than that, bro. Jeez.
Number 3. Cynthia Covert. In May of 2020, Cynthia Covert was visiting a friend on Kiowa Island, near Charleston, South Carolina. At some point, the 58-year-old beautician saw an alligator near the pond behind her friend's house. Covert decided that she wanted to pet the beast, which is frequently mentioned among the deadliest predators in North America. Her friend warned Covert that she'd witnessed the alligator snatch a deer from the water's edge only a few days prior. The woman replied that she didn't look like a deer and proceeded with her plan of touching the animal. It was still immersed in the water when Covert bent over and reached out to pet it. In an instant, the beast lunged at the woman, clamped on her leg, and dragged her in the pond. A struggle ensued, from which Covert emerged, albeit briefly. She only had the chance to jokingly claim that she won't do that again, before the alligator bit her once more. The attack ended with the beast dragging the woman underwater and drowning her. It was later reportedly killed by local wildlife officers even though it was argued that the beast had simply done what was inherent to its predatory nature. Today,
maybe she wanted to die. Cause she even came out the woods just laughing like, so what? Like, won't do that again. No, you won't. Give it a second. You're really not gonna be able to do anything again. What is wrong with people, bro? Wait, man. Like, I'm just finna go. Like, how do you wake up and just, oh, I'm gonna go pet a gator today? Everything in my life leads me to that direction. Yeah. Had a premonition. Yeah. I'm gonna pet that gator. And then what? Now what? If you successfully petted him, then what? Like, I don't even see the end goal in that. Like, what was you gonna do? That was gonna help you hit the lottery or something? I don't know. Just help you find the dude of your dreams. Like, what was the end goal?
Today's topic was requested by David Chalmers and Forever Army 0482. If you have any other, number 2, Henry Hill Jr. In November of 2020, a man from Kershaw County, South Carolina, died in a fire under what was deemed as entirely preventable circumstances. 68-year-old Henry Hill Jr. had become trapped in his trailer home when it caught fire in the early hours of the morning. Hill and 2 others managed to get out. However, according to the responding firefighters and witnesses from the scene, Hill went back inside the flaming structure to
never go back in. They teach you this from a child. Never go back in. I don't care if you're a kid and you want your toy. I don't care if you're an adult and you feel like you left something important, some valuables. What? Never go back inside. And especially a trailer, bro. Them things go up like that. Always, bro. And it's always the wiring. Not always, but majority of the time it's the wiring in those trailers, man. You see, we go to a lot of trailer fires. A lot of them. And it's the wiring. Once the fire investigators come through and do and check and everything and trace it back to their origin, it's normally some wiring in these trailers, man. I don't know why that tends to be. I don't. But anyway, that's not the point. Do not go back in. Okay? Don't. You can replace, even my dog up there barking, trying to tell y'all the same thing. Don't. He bark. Don't. Don't go back in, bro. We can replace valuables, but you can't. And even if you can, it's okay. You can't replace you.
Retrieve a pair of pants. The man was found dead on the bedroom floor after succumbing to the intense heat and smoke inhalation. Number 1.
He went back for pants. I swear. Oh my gosh.
Michael Anderson Godwin. In the 1980s, Michael Anderson Godwin was convicted of murder and sentenced to death via the electric chair. However, that verdict was eventually overturned on appeal, and Godwin was given life in prison in 1983. Still, Godwin would end up dying of electrocution several years later. In 1989, the 28-year-old was sitting on a steel toilet in his cell. At the same time, he was trying to repair a pair of headphones that were still connected to his TV set. Godwin would make the fatal mistake of biting into the cable while trying to split and reconnect it. He sustained a massive electric shock and was found dead in his cell at the Central Correctional Institution in South Carolina. The combination of conducting metal and the frayed cable essentially meant that Godwin had died on an electric chair of his own inadvertent design. Thanks for watching.
That's Final Destination right there is all that was, bro. He was supposed to die via electric chair. Death said, okay, we're going to come back around and we're still going to get you via the same way you were supposed to go. Electrocution, bro. And they did it. Y'all hear my dog? He calling me right now. So I got to go. All right. He's like a wife, a nagging wife. He calling me right now. He think I'm supposed to pop every time he calls. So let me go get my dog. But anyway, man, when stupidity goes wrong, y'all get at me in the comment section. Timestamp, which y'all figured was the craziest thing going on in this video. Timestamp it for me. And yeah, He getting upset now. Let me go. Till the next reaction, man. I'm out. Peace. Y'all stay solid. Ayy.